Welcome back to the Muni Lot Report. Today we will be going over the Browns draft picks and we'll talk about the 2021 NFL Draft. This draft was a special event for both football fans in the city of Cleveland. It was a return to normalcy as fans from all over the country came to Cleveland and brought a World Series, NBA Finals atmosphere to the city regardless of the weather and the pandemic. It was definitely odd to see large gatherings again, and to be a part of this event was truly special. This year's draft brought many surprises as expected and was one of the most unique drafts in the NFL's history. The Cleveland Browns knocked another draft out of the ballpark this year as Andrew Berry continues to prove why he is one of the best young general managers in the league. Andrew Berry carried a theme throughout this year's draft with drafting players with a lot of versatility and speed. They were able to add athleticism, depth, and physicality to both sides of the ball. Each player carries similar personality traits that fit what the Browns are looking for in their players. Accountability, leadership, smart, and tough were consistent traits among each of Andrew Berry's draft picks. Hopefully these traits and the players themselves will be able to translate in the NFL and have a positive impact on the team for years to come. On Thursday night, there were many rumors that the Browns are willing to move up in the draft to select a corner, but the board looked to fall the way they possibly wanted it to. They could have gone in many different directions, but corner was a weak part of our team last year, and the position can be very impactful on team success. The Browns stayed put at 26 and selected Greg Newsom II, a corner out of Northwestern. Newsom is a physical and competitive player with great length at the corner position. He plays very smart and has advanced route recognition skills that allow him to jump routes and disrupt passes. Newsom is the prototypical boundary corner but is very versatile and can play from the slot. He is strong in both press and zone coverage, making him a dual threat for the Browns secondary. Newsom has similar traits to Denzel Ward and has stated that he's mirrored his game after Ward. It is very clear on tape that they both play very similar with their eyes in the backfield and are strong run defenders. Newsom was a no-brainer pick for the Browns because of his dominance in college. He was able to play 3 seasons throughout his college career and was named to the first team All-Big Ten in 2020. In 2020, Newsom was disruptive on 3rd and 4th down, only allowing a 0.0 passer rating all season, which was the best among all the corners in the draft this year. He also played 471 coverage snaps this past season and only gave up 1 touchdown. This is an area the Browns struggled with last season, but the secondary was plagued with injuries all season. Adding more talent and depth to this secondary is not insurance for Greedy Williams, but an opportunity for the Browns to take advantage of the versatility at the corner position, allowing Joe Woods to basically put anyone out there and play any role at that position. On day 2 of the draft, the Browns had a very exciting day as a first-round talent, Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, fell to the 2nd round. As the 2nd round moved forward and JOK continued to fall is when the Browns decided to make the move and trade up for the hybrid athletes. The Carolina Panthers were on the clock at 52 and were willing to part away with their pick and a 4th rounder at 113 for the Cleveland Browns' 59th pick and their 3rd rounder, the 89th pick, allowing the Browns to move up and draft the linebacker out of Notre Dame. This pick has a great value for the Browns as they did not have to give up too much to move up. Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah would have been a slam dunk pick in the 1st round. Owusu-Koramoah is one of my favorite prospects in this year's draft because of his versatility. His ability to be a dominant force all over the field gives the Browns a defensive playmaker they have been looking for at the 2nd level. JOK's ability in coverage is unmatched as he can match up with tight ends, slot receivers, and running backs. He ranked number 2 in the nation in slot coverage and managed to consistently force bad throws. He's a jack of all trades on defense as he plays well in many many different aspects you look for in a linebacker hybrid. He has the range as a run defender and challenges outside runs and perimeter throws. He can play with a high motor and has great explosiveness, making him look as he is a heat-sinking missile. He's a hard hitter and an impactful blitzer, which has value on any defense in today's NFL. And for the Browns, they walk away with a steal and get a baller that can impact your defense on day one. After trading their first third-rounder, the Browns waited till pick 91 to select receiver Anthony Schwartz out of Auburn. The receiver board was starting to thin out on day 2, and the Browns needed to add a burner to the receiver room. Schwartz is exactly that, a player that can take the top off the defense with his unbelievable speed. He had the fastest 40 in this draft class as he ran a 4.25. Schwartz was a track star at Auburn and was training for the Olympics before choosing to enter the NFL draft. He's a smaller player with solid pass catching ability. He is a player you don't want to limit to one position because his speed, but because he has also proved that he's an effective ball carrier. Schwartz runs excellent deep routes as he often leaves defenders in the dust, and he adds a new dynamic to Kevin Stefanski's offense as he's a threat in sweeps, reverses, and screen passes. Day 3 of the draft is the day when teams become championship teams, and the Browns may have took themselves to the next level. They were able to beef up both sides of the ball and once again added versatile players. The Browns had 3 fourth-round picks, and at pick 110 they chose James Hudson, offensive tackle from Cincinnati. Hudson is a raw talent with great physical traits that can take him to the next level. He has great footwork, allowing him to be very productive in zone and pass blocking. In 2020, Hudson had 358 pass blocking snaps and only gave up 6 QB pressures and gave up 0 sacks. For the Browns, he will be a swing tackle and take reps at guard. The thing I like about Hudson is that he is a strong finisher on blocks. He's great at sealing the edge. Hudson is a developmental player who is a student of the game that has progressed each season and can fill a starting position in the next couple of years. The Browns had more picks than roster spots and chose to make a trade, giving up pick 113 and 257 to the Detroit Lions for a 2022 fourth rounder and another 5th rounder in this year's draft at pick 153. I didn't mind this trade as they were able to swap a 7th for a 5th and adding more capital for next season. Later in the 4th round, the Browns selected Ohio State product Tommy Togiai with the 132nd pick. Togiai is a good addition to the Browns defensive tackle room that needed much more depth. Togiai will have a literal strong presence on the defensive line, and he has been named one of the strongest players in this year's draft as he put up 40 reps on the 225 bench press on his pro day. On the field, Togiai literally bench presses his opponents to blow up plays early in downs. He's a great hustle player that has a great natural leverage, straight line speed, and power that makes him a force as a run stopper. Togiai has an explosive first step and burst that helps him blow up plays with early penetration. He will probably play a rotational role early in downs where he can be used in run support. I think he will be a great replacement for Ogunjobi after his signing with the Bengals. To start the 5th round, the Browns selected Tony Fields II, linebacker out of West Virginia. Tony Fields is another linebacker who can be placed all over the field. Fields was a tackling machine at West Virginia. He is a very instinctive blitzer and can anticipate cutback lanes to shut down and run plays. Fields allows plays to develop and can quickly diagnose plays pre-snap. The Browns chose Richard LeCounte, the safety out of Georgia, later in the 5th round with pick 169. LeCounte has great personality and physical traits that can make him a steal this late in the draft. At Georgia, LeCounte was a great locker room presence and respected by his teammates for his strong leadership and his understanding of the game. He was trusted with handling multiple assignments and was allowed to roam at Georgia. LeCounte played a lot in split safety looks and a mix of single high, allowing him to attack passing lanes. LeCounte is a hard-hitting ball hawk, intercepting his opponents 7 times in 2020. He is great at recognizing routes and closing on receivers, eliminating any big plays for his team. McCown is a unique addition to this team where he will bring his ball hawk skills and leadership to a deep secondary. With their final pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, the Browns took Demetric Felton, a receiver running back hybrid from UCLA with pick 211. Felton is another versatile weapon for Kevin Stefanski's offense where he plays without a position most of the time. Felton took most of his snaps from the slot throughout his career at UCLA, and he has great value as a pass catcher from the slot and the backfield that could get him on the field early in his career. He's an excellent route runner and creates many mismatches for linebackers. Felton is a player that the Browns want to get in open space because his ability to make tacklers miss and his electric speed. Following the draft, undrafted free agents were allowed to sign with any team, and the Browns were able to win a bidding war for Florida State's defensive tackle Marvin Wilson. This could be a big-time steal for the Browns as they added another player that was ranked high in many defensive tackle boards but continued to fall. Wilson had a second to fourth round grade, but many teams passed due to his size and lack of production in 2020. If he elected to forego the draft in 2020, he would have most likely been selected in the first round. This signing has great value as the Browns bring in more depth to their defensive tackle room. Wilson is a smooth mover for his size, where he can slip out of blocks and disrupt the pocket. His large size and ability to win one-on-ones will draw both double and triple teams. He causes many problems for opposing teams as he is difficult to move in the run game and consistently stands up blockers. Wilson plays with a good motor and strength, making him a force in the interior. I think Wilson will have to work his way up into a rotational role by making improvements and cutting the bad weight. Although that may be true, Wilson will eventually make his way on the field at some point in the season, playing a run stuffer role. Overall, I think the Browns had a very good draft as they added a lot of speed and versatility to their team, which was much needed over the last couple of years. They have players that can be used as matchup pieces that will play a different role each week, making the Browns unpredictable on both sides of the ball. They were able to bulk up positions that were a weak point last season. In the long run, there's no telling if this was a good draft or not because the new acquisitions have not done anything yet on the field. We need to wait to evaluate this draft until we get results on the field. So pump the brakes, Browns fans. There's nothing wrong with optimism and excitement for this Browns team. It takes time for teams to mesh and players to develop. Thank you once again for watching, and go Browns.